president saying that if Ukraine fired those weapons into Russian territory, he would consider the U.S. and other NATO countries directly involved and therefore at war with Russia.
One of the stories that we would have been talking about had it not been for the assassination attempt on Donald Trump's second assassination attempt on Donald Trump was Putin's assertion that if we continue, and by we I mean NATO powers, to arm Ukraine to the degree where it threatens Russian sovereignty, it would lead to an all-out war with NATO. New missiles that are likely to be granted to Ukrainian fighting forces offer exactly that threat. Let me know in the comments and chat how you feel about this ongoing, escalating conflict and whether or not you consider the prevention of nuclear war to be, in a sense, the most supreme priority that we could be addressing. Here is Vladimir Putin, presumably in Russian, saying that if there are attacks within Russia, it's all out war.
We want to turn now to the war in Ukraine and fears of a wider conflict. President Biden and UK's Prime Minister met on Friday to discuss allowing the Ukrainian military to use long-range missiles to strike deep inside Russia. But Russian President Vladimir Putin is now warning of severe consequences if that happens.
The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been pleading with allies for months to let his country fire long-range Western-made missiles deep into Russian territory. We're talking specifically here about the U.S. ATACMS and the British Storm Shadows. Until it's given the green light by Western countries, the Ukrainian military cannot hit those Russian targets. But the U.S. and the UK appear increasingly open to lifting the restrictions, which prompted a warning from Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, saying that if Ukraine fired those weapons into Russian territory, he would consider the U.S. and other NATO countries directly involved and therefore at war with Russia. His remarks signal he may be willing to escalate against the West in response, and some Western officials are concerned this could mean acts of sabotage against their infrastructure or possibly, Peter, NATO bases.
Don't be so ridiculous. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. Many will have noticed that my food delivery's arrived on the couch. I'll be tucking into that in a matter of moments. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? No one alarm him because I'm very, very peckish. Let's have a look at Justin Trudeau, who you might imagine would be the kind of voice of reason and liberalism that's required when you find yourself in a tricky situation. Here's Justin Trudeau saying it's perfectly okay for Ukraine to use long-range weaponry against Russia, and he personally will absorb any nuclear attacks into his haircut.
Vladimir Putin says Russia will be at war with NATO if Ukraine uses long-range missiles deep into Russia. How far into Russia do you think Ukraine should be able to strike?
Vladimir Putin is striking regularly in the heart of Ukraine. He's sending missiles and bombs at hospitals.
And if he's doing it, then why shouldn't we do it? He who smelt, it's not fart. He who smelt it, dealt it. He who denied it, supplied it. This is a nuclear attack, Justin.
At daycare centers, at families and communities across Ukraine. And it was his choice. His choice.
He started it, and I actually quite like talking in this cadence. This is the reason I actually got into politics, because I never really felt good enough about myself. But when I'm talking like this, I feel a lot better, even if the consequences of the rhetoric I'm deploying is actually, well, everybody in the world dies, but I'll still have my haircut.
To invade a neighboring sovereign nation. His choice to start this conflict, and it could be his choice to end it tomorrow. All he has to do is pull back his troops into Russian territory. But he won't do that. He is not just trying to remove any choice that Ukrainians have around where they want their future to go, remove their independence, remove their sovereignty. He's trying to deeply destabilize the international rules-based order that protects us all, not just in every democracy around the world, but in all countries around the world. Any country with a neighbor with a slightly larger army should be worried if it suddenly becomes allowed to invade and redraw lines on the map. And that's why Canada and others are unequivocal that Ukraine must win this war against Russia. And we will continue to be there to support Ukraine. And yes, Canada fully supports Ukraine using long-range weaponry to prevent and interdict Russia's continued ability to degrade Ukrainian civilian infrastructure and mostly to kill innocent civilians in their unjust war.
The international rules-based order. Does that sound a lot like the New World Order? Does that sound a lot like globalism? Does that sound like the kind of lawfare where any political leaders that oppose globalism find themselves either dead or in jail? Does that sound like the kind of globalism that's opposed to agriculture precisely because decentralized farming of any kind means that there would be food supplies available in the event of further centralized authority being taken? Is it the same global rules-based order that seems hell-bent on censoring every single word we say, unless those words are words of praise towards this very same global rules-based order? What an extraordinary man Justin Trudeau is. How clever they are to dress up their new authoritarians like faded boy band members. Macron, Trudeau, Starmer, great hair. Shame about the Armageddon. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and chat? Remember, if you're not an Awake and Wonder yet, consider becoming one. And if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, ensure that you like and subscribe. In fact, make sure you like and subscribe on Rumble as well and consider becoming a Rumble Premium member. We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results are so dramatic, and who doesn't love drama? What if you need to lose weight but you don't like injections? Doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are remarkable. The studied ingredients in Lean are shown to lower blood sugar, that's good, burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb your appetite and cravings so you're not as hungry. Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose. That could be me. I could lose 10 pounds. Get started with 15% off and free rush shipping. Add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Do you know what that phrase does? I mean, don't be like an idiot and just think you can guzzle Lean and it's all going to be okay. Add it to a healthy exercise plan in order to lose that hard, stubborn to shift 10 pounds. Even though I believe that you're absolutely beautiful as you are, just lose that 10 pounds because you wanted to. Visit takelean.com. Enter brand15 for your discount. That's promo code brand15 at takelean.com. Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new